My name is Laura. I am French. I have the French citizenship, but I was born in France and I grew up in Africa, Central Africa. My father is from Gabon and my mother from Cameroon. So I'm French, Cameroonese, Gabonese, and a little bit emotionally Swedish and Korean.
Well, for me, it's a little bit shorter. I'm German. My name is Oliver. I grew up near Stuttgart, lived a few years in Berlin also, and now I live in Munich. I have a grandfather who was Austrian, but that's mostly it.
Great. And now we're going to talk about intercultural relations. If you can guide us through an experience that you had as a couple when it comes to multicultural relations.
In the sense of how we met, for example,
The story that you prepared.
quickly,
Just tell the story, baby.
I'll tell the story. I'll tell the story.
Not of meeting, the medicine story that we said.
The medicine story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say what I have to say, and I'm
Okay.
gonna say it quickly. I used to live in France. I used to live in Paris, and Oliver used to live in Berlin. We met online in Berlin, and we started to date. I was still in Paris. He was still in Berlin, and 6 months after, he came to Paris and proposed. And I said yes, and we still lived like that. Me in Paris, him in Berlin. He, of course, I put the condition that he had to meet my father, which he did, in Strasbourg, like the European city by excellence. And after that, the COVID arrived, we got married, and now I took my stuff, went to Berlin, and this wonderful gentleman told me, we need to go to Munich. I said, I just unpacked, and here we are. It's been like 3 years we've been living here in Munich.
Is there anything that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, the day I met her father was the hottest day of the summer. It was like 35 degrees in Strasbourg. I was very nervous also because I wanted to ask for her hand and everything. And her father was pouring me these little beers that they drink in Strasbourg. I was so nervous that I sweated them all out like nothing. I didn't even feel drunk, and everything went super well. The food was amazing. I wasn't even drunk, although I drank alcohol the whole day, and it was an amazing event.
So now that we're already talking about
If I can add something small, I warned my father that Oliver was not from our African culture and that he wasn't French either, so that his French was a little bit basic. And I told my father, he's German, so try not to talk about the things that we're not supposed to talk about. So no religion, no politics. And I like the fact my father did exactly what I told him not to do. So while he was serving alcohol to Oliver, he was also telling him about the war. And I was like, I'm supposed to get married. I'm not, what is he doing? He's going to ruin the whole thing. But thank God, Oliver was wiser than I thought, and everything went good. That's why we are here. But it's also for me a process because I'm coming with my French African background culture, and I'm dealing with another one where everything is so different for me. And for me, it makes sense. And for him, no. And we have sometimes these discussions. It's not just about medicine. It can be also about food, also about political point of views. But this is also the part that is also interesting in this relationship. The fact that it's not like comforting, like in a war way, but more like also asking ourselves, because I agree that, for example, the French are easier, they go easily to the doctor, and we maybe use a little bit more drugs than just letting the body heal. But then for me, still, that German part, it's still, especially all this oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, the naturopath, homeopath thing. Just go to the damn doctor.
Perhaps finalizing, are there any words of advice that you would give to a young couple uh, from coming from multiple cultures getting together, especially based on these stories that you just passed through right now?
Sure. Um, yeah, I would say it's always good to allow also another perspective, right? It's in any relationship, but especially if your partner has a different cultural background, it's good to also allow this perspective and see if it's maybe also working for you, because there is not only one truth on a lot of matters. So try it and see if it works for you. Well, I mean, this goes with food, this goes with medicine, maybe with alcohol, maybe with dressing. I don't know, but yeah, there are a lot of things that you can learn, and you can also see that not yeah you have a tendency to think that how it is done in your culture, in your country, this is the only right way, the only normal way. But then you realize, no, there are people like living 50, 60 kilometers across a border, and they do it very differently, and they still survived. So maybe it's also a valid way to do it, right?
I would say that, but this is from a very personal perspective. You need to know yourself first. So if you know yourself first, then you can also introduce yourself. Because if people see me, she's French, she's Gabonese, and she's Cameroonese, or maybe they just say she's French and she's African, or she's just African. But people, we are all we have different facets, we have different personalities. Oliver knows that. I have a French citizenship. I feel also very French with the food, maybe not with the politics, but then I also feel very African, very Gabonese, maybe less, maybe Cameroonese when it's about football. And then I also feel, because I used to live in Sweden years ago, I also feel a little bit Swedish, even if like, but more culturally and not that much. We are different, the personalities, we are different facets. And when you meet someone from, just don't get what you see, or I should say, don't just see the cover. We are like a book, we have histories, and it's interesting to discover these histories, but you also need to show the person you are with who you are as the book, the different chapters, those things that make you complete. You know what I'm saying? It's, you're not just this, you also a little bit of that. And even if for me, I mean, I didn't say that, but at the beginning when I met Oliver, I didn't want to date him because he was German. And German because it meant learning the language. And I was like, I don't want to learn that language. I have so many languages in my head. I don't want to learn the language. But apart from the language, Oliver is Oliver. He's German. He's also a little bit of French, especially about croissant and wine, the food. Don't deny it.
No.
And he's also how can I say that? He's also Schwäbisch, his region where he's from, the Stuttgart thing. And then he's also has a problem with the people of Karlsruhe. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Y'all live in the same place. He's also diverse. He feels also a little bit Austrian. He's also a little bit Berlinese. He's also very from Berlin, even if he has a problem with the Hertha and the Union. I don't get it. And that's his complexity. And when you meet someone, it's not just like the citizenship or the nationality or the background or what you assume. It's a person with the complexities and different personalities that you're gonna meet. And it's a journey. And you still discover more every day. And this is what I like.
Thank you very much.